I don't know what I was expecting. Right now I'm watching Fox News off their website, and the first thing I see is Hannity and what's her face, Ingram, uh, talking about how this election was rigged, how the Democrats have stolen this election. What did I expect? What did I expect? They're pundits. They're opinion columnists on TV. But they're not called opinion. They're called news. And all they do is mislead their viewers. I've only watched 5 minutes and she told like 15 lies back to back. Well, with that stupid offended face the whole time. And they call liberals snowflakes. Alright. Jeez. I'll get back to this real quick. I just wanted to get that off my chest. No matter what happens, these pundits, they're the reason, they're a big reason why so much misinformation is out there. So many people believe in lies. Not just from Trump himself, but from these fucking manipulative sons of bitches whose only interest is in winning for their party. God damn the truth.
At the election billboard to
I'm just gonna sit here and react to everything she's saying.
So it can change on the fly.
This guy is not a pundit. He's just, he's actually from Fox News, not Fox Opinion.
10:30 East Coast hour. We're watching Arizona here. This hasn't changed over the last hour. We got a dump, Laura, at 9 o'clock East Coast time. And there's nothing really been changed since then. We're getting another dump around midnight tonight, so this could change yet again. The president's
I'm not sure if they're using the word dump
got him within 79,000
in good
votes of
faith.
Joe Biden.
I'm not sure. I think they're using it because dump has a negative connotation. Oh, here's my state.
Throughout the night into tomorrow morning as well. Nevada, no more votes tonight. They will announce tomorrow at noon Eastern their next batch of ballots. Well, right now you've got a Joe Biden lead of 8,000 votes on Donald Trump in Nevada. It's that tight. I would encourage all of our viewers, whether you're on the West Coast tonight at 9 a.m. tomorrow or on the East Coast at noon, check us out. We'll let you know when the next ballots come near and when they where they break.
Hell yeah!
I've been watching this, Laura, last couple of hours now. We went less than a point advantage for Trump over Biden. It's dropped 0.2 of a point just over the last 90 minutes. I'm not quite sure where that vote's coming from, but it's something to watch here as we get just about 2% outstanding.
I don't know, people who decided to mail in their ballot this year.
Well, I haven't seen this thing move in 24 hours. It's still 94% of the vote coming in. Republicans feel very good about holding North Carolina. Pennsylvania, just watching this, you're probably going to go to bed tonight, 14% outstanding vote. We'll see where we are tomorrow, but about a 3-point advantage now for the president in Pennsylvania. We'll see which way that breaks tomorrow morning. I think this is kind of an interesting story, Laura. It hasn't really been talked about a lot. Balance of power in the Senate. How is this breaking down? I can show you that it's very tight and it's very interesting, too. You're at 48 Democrat, 48 Republican.
Yeah, the Senate's not going well for us.
Tonight, Tom Tillis continues to hang on to a 2-point lead in that race.
I'm surprised that dude is competitive. Cunningham, he had a major sex scandal during this election. I'm surprised he got that much of the vote.
David Perdue needs to keep this above 50.0%, and he avoids a runoff. At the moment, he's hanging on to 0.2 of a vote there in Georgia. Why is that important? Because the other Senate race, for sure, is headed for a runoff on the 5th of January. And Laura, I tell you, over the next 2 months, 60 days, there will not be a race in America that people will give more focus on than that one in Georgia. I venture to guess with the balance of power perhaps hanging out there in the U.S. Senate in early January, Dan Sullivan looks to be a winner in Alaska. I haven't called it yet, but he's got an easy
pretty solid lead
there out in Alaska. But sorry, I mispunched here. My apologies right now. This one, Laura, I bet you right now, Buck, that is the most expensive Senate
I need more
race
beer to
in
get
the
through
history
this.
of American politics. Right? Because you're
Punditry
going to
is
be
the fucking
51-48
worst.
perhaps after the night
Yeah.
tonight, favor Republicans. So it's going to be right on that knife's edge going into the new year in January.
Well, Bill, I think another thing is you can bet that President Trump is going to be down there rallying and campaigning for her. There'll be big Trump rallies, probably from now until through 2022, at the very least, regardless of what happens.
Nice to
Bill,
see you.
fascinating. I know you're up all night.
More
and
super
thank you
spreader
so much
events.
For joining us.
Thank
You did a great
God
job
for
last
that.
night.
Thanks.
All right, President Trump's resounding victory in Florida last night
Resounding!
was only possible because of the incredibly diverse and committed coalition that he managed to attract. This included Latinos, African Americans, and women. It's a broad base of support that many see as the future of the GOP.
I think
raised this
Fox
issue
News
last
is
night.
starting to get a
Joining me now
clue.
is one of the leaders
If
of
we
that
bring
coalition, new GOP
non-whites
star,
into our
Maria
party and
Elvira
women, I think we'll be
Salazar,
good.
Congresswoman-elect for
Oh, who'd have
27.
thunk?
She just unseated incumbent Democrat, former Clinton cabinet member Donna Shalala. Congresswoman-elect, what about the America First agenda, and why is it actually attracting so many Hispanics, Congresswoman-elect Salazar?
Well, thank you, Laura, for having me, because we have the same values that are entrenched in the GOP. We're law-abiding, God-fearing, family-oriented. We love and we have gratitude for this country. And fighting socialism
I could actually
is
say
one
the
of
same
most
about
important,
Mexicans.
points in the agenda,
My family's
and
like that,
enjoying
and
the American dream. And we know the great
Mexican
economy
culture's
we
like that.
had in
I
March and
recognize
April
that.
of this year,
Big
and that's
difference
what
though.
Hispanics want.
Cuban
And I'm very
Americans
happy that
and
you
Puerto
are doing this
Ricans are
segment,
much more afraid of
because I think it's
socialism
about
than
time for the
Mexicans.
GOP to understand
That's why Florida
that
ultimately
we want
went
to be
to
part
Trump.
of the family, that we want to be invited into the party, and this is the right time to do this. And I want to be one of those voices at the table and in the Republican Party, explaining to them how important my group of people is. The largest minority in the country. We're talking about 60 million people, the more than 20% of the population. So
Text rump.
that we came forward, and that now we are being paid attention to more than ever.
And Congressman-elect, I look forward to seeing this coalition
Oh my
of
God.
voters that you represent and that Governor DeSantis represented, replicated all across this country. We are thrilled with your election, and we look forward to watching your career.
If there's one good thing
in
about
the
Trump
coming
winning
weeks,
Florida
months, and
is
years.
finally I
Come
think
back with us,
Republicans
Bill,
can get a clue. They
Sure,
cannot
absolutely.
just
We'd love
pander
talk to you
to
and
Christian
talk
white
to
voters.
your audience, because
They
it's
need
a
a more
fantastic
diverse
time for
coalition
the
to stay
Hispanics
relevant.
in the United States.
I hope Florida gives them a clue that they'll remember come 2022 and 2024.
Enjoy the magic of Christmas at Santa's Wonderland.
I was a little more pissed before I started recording because it was just falsehood after falsehood. I guess I'll record a little more. What I'm really waiting for is
Santa and his elves in a safe and responsible way.
Tucker Carlson.
Online now.
Voting irregularities in key
Back
battleground
from
states.
commercial
The
break.
campaign has filed suits in Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania to stop vote counting in those states, and they also pledged to call for a recount in Wisconsin. For the latest on these challenges, we go to two lawyers involved in the fight. Harmeet Dillon, civil rights attorney, and lawyers for Trump National.
A civil rights attorney on Fox News. Woo!
Director of the Amistad
I
Project.
feel like I've seen a unicorn.
Harmeet, take the audience through the process and what you all hope to achieve, because I think people are very confused about specifically what's happening in Pennsylvania.
Confused. More like
Sure. Well, at a
about
high
to
level,
misinform
we're still counting the
here in a
votes
second.
many states because of the COVID-related extended return periods in some states, and in some states have just changed their laws to allow people to turn in their ballots, or the ballots to be received several days after. That's what's happening in Pennsylvania, although it's disputed, and the United States Supreme Court actually just tonight, right before your show started, asked the Democrats, asked the state of Pennsylvania to respond to the president's attempt to intervene in that pending lawsuit about the 3-day lag period. But in other states, we're talking about challenging the fact that Republicans have not been allowed to monitor the canvass and see whether for example, signatures match, whether
Or
things
more
are
like
postmarked
tamper with
correctly,
them.
etc. And then there are other changes that the Democrats have tried to do, like in Pennsylvania, another lawsuit has been filed concerning the Secretary of State's ignoring state law and allowing people to have 3 more days to prove their voter ID if they're first-time voters. And so this thing about making laws up on the fly is really what is the basis of a lot of these challenges, as well as basic blocking of fundamental constitutional right of the parties.
Somehow, I
to
doubt
monitor
any
the
laws are
authenticity
really
of the
being broken
canvas.
here.
The outlet 538
That won't stop them
tweeted
from
this
claiming that, though,
earlier tonight,
because they're
Phil.
losing.
2 more batches, Olivia, batches of Pennsylvania votes were reported.
Yeah, you would have called them dumps.
277 votes in Philly, all for Biden. Philip, what? So Trump got 0 votes?
In any other year, that would be unacceptable, but this is unprecedented what is happening, Laura. We have massive private big tech money that poured through government election offices to impact and alter the election. And this includes
And all
in
these guests are
Philadelphia,
complicit.
Zuckerberg money actually paying the salaries.
They
of the
don't
election
always
judges.
get guests that will
Now,
disagree
in
with them.
Pennsylvania also, we now have clerks and
Because,
county
you know,
commissioners
they have
coming
to build up a
forward and blowing the
narrative
whistle
to
on the last
hand
minute
out to their
change
viewers
Romney
that
was
they'll believe
speaking about
wholesale
that allowed
without
Democratic
questioning.
ballots to be handled differently than Republican
They know their
ballots.
viewers.
And in Michigan, right down in Detroit, we have a Democrat election clerk hiring Democrat officials to actually fill out and complete the ballots for other people without Republicans being present to ensure that that was done with integrity and
And
validity. And altogether,
all these
this
swing
impacts
state
tens
races
of
are
thousands of
close.
ballots, and what we have right now
I will
nationally
agree with them on
is you have
one
certain
thing.
people running up to the line of scrimmage
One
to try to
thing.
stop the ball
The
before
pollsters
anybody
failed.
gets a replay
They
look
did.
to make
No
sure that
one
the
can
election
deny
is fair.
that.
And
Whoever you're voting for,
bedrock of
whichever
this
side
nation is
you're
that we're
on,
all equal before
the
law,
pollsters
and that means all of our
failed
votes should
hard.
be treated
Oh, my
equally and
Lord.
with respect. And we will not get that unless we take this second look.
Well, I want to get up and applaud that. Thank you for that, Phil. Harmeet, we had the governor of Pennsylvania clearly feeling the heat about this process in Pennsylvania. So Governor Wolf responded to all these claims. He spoke out.
Here we go,
as
attacks on
well as the,
Democratic governors of
Pennsylvania
these swing
Secretary of
states.
State wants.
We've seen efforts across the country to undermine this election.
Let's
and
say
to
they even
block-
talk shit
to
about
block the count
one
of votes.
Republican
These
governor.
attempts to subvert the democratic process are simply disgraceful.
I like this guy.
To protect the vote of every Pennsylvanian.
When Governor Wolf was talking about
Oh, this guy's
how much
tight.
we cherish and will fight for every voter's right to vote.
Dude,
I
he's
think about
really
suffragists.
communicating here.
She thinks
That guy's
about the
tight.
suffragists
He's
who
using
want-
facial
That's
expressions,
right.
like
That's
exaggerated
what I have to say
movements,
about
like.
women's rights. Okay.
Every
He's
time
good.
you see
He's good at what he
Democrats
does.
jumping up and down
I'm
and
not
talking
being
about the
sarcastic.
Constitution
I
and
like
the
people
rights of
like that.
people. They are
Like
gaslighting
clearly
because it's
communicating
they
what
who are
what the
blocking
guy
right
is saying.
Of American citizens to witness what's happening. They have bicycle barriers that are keeping our election observers in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia 30 feet away. Like from 30 feet away, how can you see whether signatures are being properly tabulated? What is happening? with these
Because
things? And
that's
so
the way it works.
And that's a feature.
That's the
not a
way
bug.
it's always
And
been. They act like
to
this
the
is some
point,
new
the
phenomenon.
election workers are actually putting up physical barriers
A lot
and
of states
cardboard to
work
block
that
the view
way.
of observers. And so this is disgusting. And if you just switch the parties,
Disgusting.
and
Look
how
at her. Look at her
Republicans
offended,
want to
angry
block the
face.
Democrats, you have the ACLU,
She's-
the Center for Public Law Center.
I bet a
the
ton of Fox
NAACP.
News
Okay,
viewers are
Hold on,
making the
one
same face
question,
as
Phil,
she
one
is.
question, Phil. Phil,
That's
if
what
it-
they
if
do.
roles
All
were
they do is
reversed
get
here,
offended,
and you had
angry,
23,000
fearful, and hateful.
votes, 100% of a dump
This is all just
went for
politics.
Trump.
This is just the way it is.
Okay, and that rhymes. What
I don't
would
have
the
to answer
Democrats be
this
saying?
I don't have to
Who
answer
believes
this
these
question,
people?
Laura. You know the answer. We'd be in a whole different ballgame right now, and the media would be covering this much, much differently. There are serious questions that need to be investigated.
These
about the
faces she's
operation of
making,
this-
they're not
this election.
accidental.
And John
This is by
Roberts-
design.
John Roberts at the U.S. Supreme Court.
This is by design. They're
It is a
supposed to
shock
exaggerate
what he did in not
the
taking
times
that
they're
case to
offended.
save this
Oh my
country
God.
From hurting the integrity of this election process. We want all elections to be fair. Every legal vote counted, not ones that are illegitimate. Legal votes. Mate and Philip.
What are you talking about? Which votes are illegitimate?
Historical implications of all of this, and
She's
how
not
this
clear. She's
President
not making
Trump
that clear.
reshaped the GOP,
Which votes are
regardless of the
illegitimate?
outcome. Newt Gingrich tells us in moments.
She's not even saying which ones are not supposed to be legitimate.
Now more than ever is the time to celebrate America.
And her dear leader encouraged Floridians to vote twice earlier. Remember that?
Fox News. Get original, exclusive
Legitimate.
shows and documentaries.
Illegitimate
Some of
votes.
your favorite Fox News
More like votes she
personalities,
just
as
wants
well
thrown
as
out.
Great series like Duck Dynasty, Crime Stories with Nancy Grace, and a lot more. It's all available now on your TV, on your phone, or on your tablet. Join now and start celebrating America with Fox Nation. Take a look.
During this season of gratitude and goodwill, we honor America's heroes.
Love of country, recognition of service.
From the front lines to the front door.
No, they had our backs.
What this is really about is veterans, helping other veterans.
This month, we celebrate America.
Why am I recording this?
To our American
Hold up.
patriots. All November on Fox Nation.
What time is it?
Subscribe now and we'll make a donation
Tucker
to
is going to be on
Independence
soon,
Fund. Plus,
so
Patriot Plan
I think
subscribers
he's
will
going to be
receive
on
a
soon.
copy
So I'm
of
just
Pete's
going to
new
upload
book,
this
Modern Warriors.
and try to do this again with Tucker.